team of 72 Csan volunteers from 9 countries attend a volunteer training seminar in Paris, France. We go to Taiwan's Taipei City to learn more about Csan Building and the serious threat it poses to residents. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen now. Thank you for joining us. First up in France, just last year, Tzi's first European office was opened in Paris. And as part of its mission to increase the number of local volunteers, the office held a 3-day volunteer training seminar and was attended by 72 volunteers from 9 different countries.
As part of Czi's 2014 European Volunteer Training course, 72 volunteers from 9 different countries are here in Paris for 3 days of training and sharing.
Last year, I came here with my daughter from Italy for the opening ceremony. This year, again, has been one full of Dharma joy. We have enjoyed listening to the stories of how our brothers and sisters in the U.S. are so resolutely walking the Bodhisattva path.
Here in Czi's first ever European office, volunteers from all over Europe have come by plane, train, or car to strengthen their vow among their brothers and sisters.
I started at 7 in the morning, changed plane in Norway, and arrived here at 4 in the afternoon.
Just 1 year earlier, in what was a historic moment, European Czi volunteers came together to overcome all obstacles and establish the office in Paris. Success came not only thanks to the volunteers' teamwork, but their willingness to see every difficulty as a chance to be a better person.
For every training seminar in Europe, we the kitchen volunteers here in France have to do our best. This brother was just working in the hospital this morning, but since he had promised to come, he started his hospital rounds at 6 and then came here in the afternoon to prepare.
Also showing that with determination nothing is impossible is this Vietnamese from Germany. Despite being unfamiliar with Chinese, her rendition of We Are One Family is stunning. Although the seminar was only 3 days in total, in that time, every participant renewed their vow among those who had become family.
In Taiwan's Yunlin County, as the school buildings of the Haiphong branch of My Liao Elementary School are currently under restoration, Czi volunteers decided to build 6 prefabricated classrooms for students to use in the meantime. Recently, the volunteers organized an opening ceremony to celebrate the completion of the new classrooms, during which students seized the opportunity to express their thanks.
At the Haiphong branch of My Liao Elementary School in Yunlin County, Czi's prefabricated classrooms are now officially open. Students, one after another, immediately move their chairs and desks into the new classrooms. Students write down words of thanks to thank the Czi volunteers for their dedication and effort.
Thank you, Czi volunteers, for building these classrooms for us.
These prefab classrooms are safe and beautiful.
As some of the school's buildings are already too old to use and need to be renovated, Czi volunteers decided to build 6 prefabricated classrooms for students to use in the meantime.
With Master Zhen Yan's teachings in mind, our Czi brothers and sisters have been dedicated to helping these students.
Built with recycled building materials, the prefab classrooms are known for their eco-friendly design. Thanks to Czi, students and teachers can now continue their classes in a safe and comfortable environment. Overseeing the 2-month construction process was Czi volunteer Chen Zhongxi. Although the classrooms are now complete, he returns from time to time to make sure that everything is holding up like it should. Before the installation of the classrooms, Czi volunteers had done much prep work. However, due to limited manpower and bad weather, the construction faced several delays.
来到这边的话，海风那就是风沙就会很大。
The school is situated on the coast where the wind is stronger. Basically, the weather here is more turbulent.
Regardless of the rough weather, construction volunteers worked tirelessly to finish the buildings on time. And even though they had to travel long distance to do so, Csan volunteers seized the chance to introduce Csan's values to the students.
谢谢你的爱心，哇，投这么多个，你的零用钱。孩子未来也是。
If these children can start cultivating a grateful heart when young, they can build more goodness in society.
Embedding their gratitude to volunteers in song, these youngsters will continue Csan's cycle of love in society.
In addition to handing out scholarships to hardworking students from poor families, Csan volunteers in Jiangsu, China also make it a point to visit these students at home to better understand their situation and that of their families. Next we meet Zhu Jie, who despite living in hardships remains optimistic.
In the rain, volunteers head towards Guanyun County to visit the homes of Csan Scholarship recipients. Despite the traffic and weather, in an hour they are there. Zhu Jie waits at the door to greet the visiting volunteers. With her mother Yiu, the young girl shoulders all household responsibilities.
My mom has lower back problems, so it pains her to do chores.
As Zhu Jie's father passed away early, being the eldest of the family, the 10th grader is forced to put her music dream on hold and work part-time during vacations to help support her family.
Usually during my winter and summer vacations, I will take on part-time jobs. This winter vacation, I worked in a bakery learning to make cakes. Typically, apprentices aren't paid, but maybe because of my situation, the owner gave me $240 a month.
In spite of the family's plight, Zhu Jie has not grown pessimistic, but remains fixed on fulfilling her dreams.
I like working with children, dance, piano, and arts. I hope that one day I can combine my interests in work, so I may completely apply myself.
Chang Su-wan is another filial Csan scholarship recipient. Working to support her family, Chang's hands now suffer from minor frostbite.
去年寒假的时候嘛，帮人家卖了个就是买了个饮料呢，
奶茶
买来去的海里，就是海里是还有那个10几天嘛，
这是手
在外面
冰啊什么的，是不是？
也会帮妈妈很心疼妈妈。
Without you, my daughter would not be able to stay in school. I'm truly grateful, truly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
加油哈，加油！
非常感谢，感谢你。
Nourished by Csan's love, these sprouting buds will now have a chance to blossom.
In Csan City of the Philippines, a fire consumed 92 homes, leaving affected families with no choice but to take shelter in makeshift tents. Not long after the disaster, Csan volunteers were on site to offer aid and comfort to those facing this difficult time.
The fire left little standing of the houses that it touched. Altogether, 92 houses were burned to the ground, leaving their owners living on the streets. With their homes up in smoke, families are now living in makeshift tents nearby. Children still smile at the novelty of it, their new surroundings, unaware of the gravity of the situation.
My home was completely burnt. We don't even have a change of clothing.
Although new clothes and furniture can be bought, healing the heart is a different matter. Fortunately, Csan has been there to help.
Thankfully, Csan has been there to help us with the things that we need. These vouchers will help us buy many things.
Joining the volunteers in a sign language song, these families, although facing an uncertain future ahead, are comforted in knowing that Csan is by their side.
In 2009, the African country of Zimbabwe adopted US dollars as their currency. However, the change did not bring about an improvement in the economy, as over 80% of the Zimbabweans are still unemployed. Suffering the most from such economic malaise are the children. To help, Csan volunteers provide Rangu Rangu Elementary School with 2 hot meals a day, feeding over 1,000 students each day, and also carrying out bread distributions in needy communities.
A loaf of bread is considered ordinary in the eyes of a Taiwanese. but for the impoverished in Zimbabwe, it is a rare treat.
We are fortunate to be able to give them such help.
This landlocked country really needs some good fortune, as over 80% of the population is unemployed, and many children go hungry on a daily basis. With a loaf of bread costing $1, it is a luxury many poor families cannot afford. Bowing 90 degrees, local volunteers respectfully present each recipient in the queue with a loaf of bread. Thanks to a kind donation from a Chinese bread manufacturer, Csan volunteer Zhu Jincai and other local volunteers arrive with a truck full of bread. However, the supply is never enough. Not having the heart to deny those already lined up, originally giving away a full loaf becomes half, and eventually just a quarter, just so no one goes away empty-handed. Besides Tsuji's food distributions in the community, at the Rungu Elementary School that Tsuji helped rebuild, hot meals are provided twice a day, often the students' only 2 meals of the day. On the first day of school at OTF Elementary, volunteers hold a bread distribution to welcome the students back to school, as during vacation, their meals usually consist of cornstarch mixed with salt. In the queue, students can be seen lining up to receive a second helping, as they want to save some for their next meal. Upon leaving their monthly training seminar, local volunteers do not fight over receiving food aid, despite not having enough to eat themselves. As they sing and chant Buddhist scriptures, volunteers bow and say goodbye, while one representative of a family comes forward to receive a loaf of bread, leaving the bread for others who are in need. Knowing their blessings and being able to give from their hearts, these local volunteers are making a difference in the impoverished country of Zimbabwe.
According to the Taipei Structure Engineering Association, houses constructed with Csan or substandard materials are among some of the most serious problems found in the apartment buildings island-wide. Especially troubling is that these apartment buildings are extremely vulnerable to earthquakes or other natural disasters, thus putting their residents at serious risk. Next, we travel to Xinyi District in Taipei City to learn more about the danger of Csan buildings.
I always tell my wife that if an earthquake were to hit, the ceiling of our apartment would probably fall down. We are living in a concrete apartment that was built with poorly processed sea sand. There is nothing we can do about it.
Mr. Shi lives in an apartment that looks like any other in Taipei Xinyi District. However, it is actually full of safety problems.
The basement of our building is severely compromised. Concrete rocks and even steel rebars have been falling down from the ceiling.
This building is not only facing the problem of falling concrete, but also corroded steel bars. Some of the reinforced steel bars have been eaten away by rust. This place poses a serious threat to its residents' safety.
In 1985, Shi Zhendong purchased the second floor of this apartment building, which cost him approximately $50,000. After living in this house for more than a decade, building-related problems started to appear.
The other day, I heard the sound of falling concrete. Then around 8 o'clock that day, a big chunk of concrete inside my apartment collapsed.
After a thorough assessment by building inspectors, Shi found out that his apartment is indeed a Csan building, a building constructed with concrete mixed with sand from the ocean.
Normally, 2 layers of reinforced steel bars would be used between floors. However, the bottom layer over here has already been corroded. If you look at the top layer, you can see that there is only 2 to 3 centimeters of space left.
Over a period of 10 years, the 16-centimeter thick concrete ceiling has fallen apart bit by bit. Concerned about his family's safety, Shi decided to move. However, there are still some in the building that have no means to do so.
This ceramic tile over here cracked a long time ago. This problem has been happening very often. When the tiles break apart, you can hear the noise loud and clear.
Concerning about their own safety, over the past 10 years, 1/3 of the residents have moved away. On the 5th floor, residents can only use wooden boards to prevent the concrete from collapsing. However, the problems don't end here.
This pillar is an example you will see in a Csan Building. When the main steel bar is damaged by rust, it expands and eventually splits. There's nothing you can do about it. It will only get worse.
When concrete is mixed with sand from the ocean, the high chloride ion content will accelerate rebar corrosion and result in the flaking of concrete, severely damaging the building's structure in the process. The only way to solve this problem is to reconstruct the building. Unfortunately, lacking an agreement among all its residents, Mr. Shi's building has been unable to do so.
Currently, I don't have the money to purchase a new home. I really hope our government can give us an answer. Help us find a safer place to live or build new homes for us.
Without a safe place to call home, these residents' safety needs to be addressed as soon as possible. Currently, even authorities don't have an answer as to the numbers of Csan buildings left in Taiwan. How to avoid purchasing Csan buildings, we find out more in tomorrow's report. In Taiwan, over the years, Northern District TIMA has organized regular free clinics for residents in New Taipei City's Shuangxi District. Among TIMA members is Dr. Chen Ruihuang, who not only carries out Tzu Chi's medical missions on his own, but has also brought in his family to join his ranks. Also doing their part for Tzu Chi's medical missions are Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang Shouchun's 3 boys. Here's more.
Central District TIMA members held a free clinic here in Taichung Xinshe District. The Chiu brothers are also here to help. Making balloons for kids is youngest brother Chiu Dongwen, who remembers his mother's dream.
My mom passed away after the new year. She can no longer do volunteer work, so I'm here on her behalf, and I will do as much as I can as a way to carry out her dream.
Having conversations with seniors is eldest brother Qiu Zhenping, who treats each senior resident on site like his own family.
My brothers and I have vowed to our mother that the 3 of us will continue to walk this Bodhisattva path.
Like his mother, Qiu Wenqing, the second eldest brother, is helping seniors to register for the clinic.
Although I'm sad, I want to transform the love I have for my mother and help the less fortunate.
For the 3 brothers, walking the Tzu Chi path is the most precious gift that their mother has given them. Here at the local grocery shop in New Taipei City's Shuangxi District, TIMA member Chen Ruihuang is checking a resident's dental problem.
Many immobile seniors who live in remote areas cannot go to our station clinic on their own. I'm really happy to have the opportunity to go to remote areas and help needy patients.
Other than treating dental problems for seniors in remote areas, Dr. Chen also brings his family to hold free clinics in Jinmen twice every year.
My mother-in-law also comes with us. To her, it's just like going for an outing, or otherwise, she has nothing to do at home.
When I need to go to the bathroom, I will ask him for help and he will help me. I'm very thankful.
With his family, his spiritual pillar, Dr. Chen Ruihuang can continue to offer medical services for needy patients.
Nursing students from Hualien Tzu Chi College of Technology, under the leadership of their professor, arrived at Fongbin Township's Jingpu Elementary School to conduct a health seminar with games and hands-on activities for learning CPR.
Wearing a pair of 3D glasses to simulate the effects of driving after consuming alcohol, these students are having fun yet learning a valuable lesson on the dangers of drinking and driving. Patiently teaching the students of Hualien's Jinpu Elementary School the right way to brush their teeth are members of the Csan College of Technology's Nursing Students Association.
Use a 45-degree angle to brush your teeth.
洗手呢？
You have to wet, scrub, rinse, wash, and dry.
These young students catch on quick on how best to administer CPR, as these university students pass on knowledge that could help save a life.
We want them to feel involved in these lessons. In this way, they can learn how to give CPR and maybe even have it be relevant in their lives someday.
If the students can pass on what they have learned to younger students, then we have accomplished our goal in coming here.
The selfless dedication of these students of the Nursing Students Association won them an award of recognition from Taiwan's Ministry of Education. Meanwhile, young students in these remote areas look forward to another lesson soon.
哥哥姐姐，你们下次要来哦，拜托。
In Taiwan's New Taipei City 20 years ago, due to a mining accident, members of the indigenous Csan tribe were forced to seek shelter underneath the Sanying Bridge. To care for this group of people that has been almost forgotten by society, Tzu volunteers arrived with emotional support as well as a free clinic. A steady stream of traffic traverses the Sanying Bridge. However, underneath the bridge lives a group of indigenous people that have been forgotten by most.
This area is considered to be the fringes of New Taipei City. There are many people from minority groups that live here.
Due to a coal mining accident 20 years ago, more than 60 members of the Csan tribe were forced to leave their homes. As most of them can barely make ends meet, they had no choice but to seek shelter underneath the Sanying Bridge.
Most of us work odd jobs or work as carpenters. Normally, we come home late.
To care for this group of people, more than 10 Tzu volunteers arrived to offer a free clinic and free haircuts, bring smiles and laughter in their wake.
The volunteers' smiles brings us happiness and laughter. Thanks to all of you, we are full of joy once again.
I hope more kind-hearted people like the volunteers can come here and offer their love and care. Please give them your support and love.
Other than supporting members of the tribe, volunteers also care for those without roofs over their heads. To make the homeless feel a bit more comfortable, volunteers set up a temporary shower. Helping the homeless, Tzu volunteers not only touch hearts, but also create good affinity with these people. We stay in Taiwan at the end of the show. For the past 3 years, Hualien Tzu volunteers have been promoting the concept of replacing liquor with tea at the Jiaming village. Recently, a tea club was established in the village to encourage more locals to embrace the campaign. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.